the mind control freaks. 4 master manipulators, each with their own method of controlling other people.
Asleep.
Anyone help? Hello?
You might think you're in charge of your own actions. The mind control freaks will make you think again.
Amazing.
No, it ain't right.
It's just mind-boggling.
Welcome to the show. Do you ever look at the screen and wonder if you're being sent hidden messages? That you're being secretly manipulated to act, buy, and think in a different way? If that really were the case, couldn't you fairly claim that you're not in control of your own actions? That whatever you do is not your fault, whether good or bad? In this special episode, Alex and Pete team up to persuade a man that he's lost his free will. And then observe how this alters his behavior.
Who believes that subliminal messaging is effective?
Skeptical.
You may find yourself behaving in ways that contradict what you normally would do. We're now bordering on the verge of cruelty.
My whole brain is just saying, press the button.
Stories about hidden messages that have the ability to shape the way we feel and think. Secret images contained in advertising. Music that has different lyrics when played backwards. Does all this subliminal messaging really work? And if it does, how far can we push the phenomenon? We've taken over this warehouse for today's experiment. On their way up are Pete and 4 actors. What's your name?
Mo.
Mo, hi, I'm Alex.
Hello, Amelia.
Very nice to meet you all. They're going to be acting as stooges to help me out in today's experiment, which involves Chris. Chris, hi, I'm Alex.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Have a seat, mate. Chris is the only one in the group that has no idea what's going on. Thank you very much for coming down today. We're going to be looking at subliminal messaging. This is when images, sounds are delivered directly into the subconscious without the conscious mind being aware. And the results of that are that we behave or act differently without actually knowing why we're doing it. Who actually believes that subliminal messaging is quite effective?
Skeptical.
Skeptical. Yep. All right, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch a little clip. So if we're ready, we can roll the clip, please. Okay. So having watched that clip, was there anything that sprung out at you that was quite obvious? Any images or any words or anything like that?
No.
Nothing. Okay, good. I want to ask you to relax and think of a colour. Now, this will be a colour that comes straight through to your mind. It will be a predominant colour. It will be a colour that is well known, and it will come straight through bright and clear in your mind. I do not wish you to tell this colour out loud to anybody in the room. Let your inhibitions go. Just be open. Try and go along with it. Don't fight it. If something comes, don't try and change it because you think it may be obvious or not obvious. But if something does come towards you, a colour that takes over, a colour that you feel is more predominant in your conscious mind, just let it come through, okay? There's a little booth up there. There's a little pen and paper there. Write your name on the top and the colour that you're thinking of. Chris, should we start with you?
Yep.
The rest of you try and keep thinking about that colour. Right, Pete, do you want to go next? Chris, it's important that you don't let anybody see what you've written because I don't want anybody to be influenced.
Yep.
Guy, do you want to go next? Sarah, Mo, Amelia, off you go. Fantastic. Thank you for that. So, I want to ask now, was there anything that whilst you were watching the clip was obvious, like an image or a word? Nothing like that. Have a look at the clip one more time. Okay, stop right there. Did you hear that sort of high squeaking sound? I'm going to play the same sound, but I'm going to slow it right down. Does that mean anything to you? No. Okay, we're going to play it backwards.
Red.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
What was it?
Red.
So that was what you heard the first time, slowed down and played backwards. Chris, what have you written? Can you show it to that camera there?
I have red.
Red, okay. Everybody else? Red, 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 red. Chris, how did you come to take the decision to write red?
As soon as you said think of a colour, red come into my brain straight away.
And we're going to show another clip. There's not going to be any sound, because on this one we're going for something that's a little bit more visual. This time we're not going for a colour, but we've gone for an image. Okay, if you're getting an inkling towards something, just go with it. Chris, why don't you start again?
If this one's right, then that's unbelievable.
I'll be as impressed as you will. Okay, I'm going to ask you to see the film one more time. Stop it there. And now go frame by frame, please. Okay, go back to that frame. I would say that's a pretty obvious picture of a clock. Now, a clock could mean time, could be a watch, it could be anything like that. Chris?
Clock.
You've got a clock?
I've got a clock.
Wow. Guy?
It was a grandfather.
Grandfather clock. Okay, but it's still a clock. Fantastic. You've got a clock, more of a timepiece. Excellent.
I think a strapless watch.
A strapless watch. No, that's very good. Let's see. That is amazing.
That second one, the clock one, I thought no way in a million years.
The fact that everyone, including his new friend Pete, is responding to the subliminal messaging is totally convincing Chris that it works.
Why did you go for a clock?
Well, again, as soon as you said picture and image, a little alarm clock comes straight to my head, little buzzing alarm clock.
And did you see an alarm clock?
No.
In the footage the first time round?
Didn't see absolutely nothing.
Didn't see
apart
it?
from some colours. It must be the subliminal messages, mustn't it? Two scenarios there, and everyone's got the same answer, so I've changed my opinion completely now.
I'm going to ask you to watch a third film. This last film combines both techniques that you witnessed in the previous films, both with audio and visual. You may find yourself feeling and behaving in ways that contradict what you normally would do. It is not your fault. Your free will has been taken away from you right now. I'm going to give you some choices. These choices that you're going to make may feel wrong, but allow them to happen. Amelia, why don't you come up and join me first, yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you £20.
Okay.
You have three choices. One is you put £20 in the charity box. And this will go, I promise you, to a good cause charity. Your other choice is to take all the money and keep it for yourself. Your third choice is to put £10 in here and £10 for yourself. Just go with what your subconscious mind is telling you to do.
We've told our stooges to behave as if they've been influenced by the film to act selfishly.
I'm going to keep hold of it.
Okay.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
I don't feel bad about it, and that worries me, but I'm going to keep hold of it.
Don't worry. Mo, why don't you come up, please? £20.
I don't know, I just want to keep it. Just comes,
Okay.
Yeah, just comes in handy.
Sarah, come up.
I'm going to keep it.
Guy.
I want the money.
Chris, up you come.
Chris can see the others are all keeping the cash, but will that make him feel it's okay to act selfishly because the film has made him feel that way?
In this case, I'm going to keep the money. There's an overwhelming urge saying keep the money, keep the money, keep the money, keep it, keep it, keep it.
All right, great. Chris, What effect do you think that clip has had on you?
Well, it's obviously made me a bit selfish, because I'd like to think, especially being on TV in front of millions of people, that I'd like to give the money and come across a bit generous. But there was that little voice in my head saying, don't matter, keep that money, keep it, keep it, keep it. That was what my subconscious was telling me. So I just went with it.
So we've got Chris exactly where we want him right now. He is totally bought into the idea that the last film he's watched has made him feel selfish and to look after himself. So let's see how far we can push it right now.
It seems the supposed power of subliminal messaging is more imagined than real. So if you suspect that governments or the media or advertisers are trying to influence you through your TV screen, consider this. The image you are seeing is a series of stills called frames, and there are 25 frames per second. So the shortest image that can be broadcast is 1 frame in duration. Watch the screen closely. I'm about to show you what that looks like. Not so subliminal, is it? The origins of the belief in the power of subliminal messaging came from an experiment in 1957, when the words popcorn and cola were secretly shown to cinema goers, resulting in a sales increase of 57.5%. However, in later years, the claims were retracted, and there are doubts that any actual experiment ever took place. Like so many things, people tend to believe what they want to believe. But then, I would say that, wouldn't I? We've had lots of fun so far. Now I'm going to shock you with how much more fun we can have. Alex and Pete have been using some cunning techniques.
Go frame by frame, please.
To persuade our subject, Chris, that he's being influenced by subliminal messages.
Must be. There's definitely something going on there, yeah.
And the last ones he received removed his ability to behave in a caring way and made him more selfish.
There was that little voice in my head saying, keep that money, keep it, keep it, keep it. So I just went with it.
And now they're going to see how far they can push a man who thinks that he's no longer morally responsible for his actions.
Chris has been told the next stage of the experiment is only for the 2 most receptive subjects. So all our other actors go, and Pete is left as our only stooge.
Can anyone guess what this is?
An electric chair?
An electric chair. I know it looks mean and vicious, but actually it's been hooked up with a very small amount of electricity that will give you a jolt. In a moment, one of you will be strapped to the chair. The other person will leave with me. We're going to take the controller with us, and you're going to administer electric shocks to the other person. Every time you give a shock, the person who gets shocked earns £20. The person who presses the button earns £10.
To convince Chris he's taking part in a real experiment with real pain, we hit him with a blast of electricity when he tested the chair.
On my count, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep, I felt that one.
Now, in order to decide who does the shocking, I'm going to toss a coin. Heads or tails?
Tails, please.
Heads. You get to press the button. Pete, I'm very sorry to say that you're going to have to sit in the chair. We're going to get Pete strapped in.
All right.
There we go. These are to help protect you in case you jolt and you accidentally hit your face. So, Chris, come with me. Pete, good luck. So, Chris, the rules of the game are these. Each time you shock Pete, he receives £20, you receive £10. It is totally up to you how many times you do shock Pete. Every time you do, the shocks will get more and more painful. You will never be putting his life at risk. You will never be causing any permanent damage. The other very important thing, which I haven't told you until now, you will never see Pete again.
Now, Chris knows there can be no comeback on what he chooses to do next.
So, hold the button up. Are you happy to zap him one time?
I'm happy.
What is your subconscious telling you right now?
Press the button. My whole brain is just saying, press the button.
Do it. That is £20 for Pete, £10 for you. Are you happy to shock him again?
Yep, I'm happy.
Okay, go ahead. That's another £10 for you and £20 for Pete. The shock has gone up a little bit more. Are you happy to proceed again?
Yep.
Do it. 10 for you, 20 for Pete. How are you feeling right now?
I feel fine.
Do you feel guilty at all?
No.
Okay, fine. We're now increasing to doubling the amount of pain felt. Okay? 3, 2, 1. That is £10 more for you, £20 for Pete.
By now, Chris completely believes his decisions are no longer his own, and the subliminal messages are responsible for his actions. While he wouldn't usually agree to inflicting pain on someone, now he feels the messages are making him do just that.
Okay, press it for the 5th time. £50. That is £60. 3, 2, 1. You've done 7 times. I can tell you that the levels of pain that Pete will be experiencing are going to be quite high.
We're zapping Pete.
Okay.
Don't forget, Chris felt how painful the chair was, so he knows how much Pete is hurting.
By the time we get to 10 times, I will have to check what his state is, because obviously we're now bordering on the verge of cruelty to someone.
All right, yeah, that's fair enough.
He's not getting close to enough pain that will force him to pass out, but it is an excruciating pain right now every time you press that button. So for the 9th time, would you like to zap him?
Yeah, we're zapping him.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we're just going to have a quick chat on Pete. I'm going to take that, sorry. Not that I don't trust you, but Alex to Pete. Alex to Pete.
Yeah, hello.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right now. Yeah.
Pete, are you happy for us to carry on for the time being? I will check on you again.
We're giving one more shock, then we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Pete, we're going to go for one more shot, mate. Okay? And it's coming in 3, 2, 1, go. I have to ask you again one more time. Do you want to do one more shock?
Go on then, let's zap him.
One more time. Okay.
Even after a whopping 11 shocks, trigger-happy Chris looks like he could do this all day.
I think my producer's saying that's as high as we can go, and we cannot give him any more. I get the feeling that you would have been happy to just keep on going until this money had gone.
I would have kept on zapping, yeah.
Kept on zapping?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel this is normal behaviour for you?
No. No, this is very out of the ordinary. And my subconscious, again, was just telling me to keep buzzing.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a little bit of what we're doing today. Right. What did you see there?
I see nothing.
You know what that is?
Because there's nothing there.
Yep. There is no subliminal messages in that film whatsoever.
From the moment Chris arrived, everything was rigged to make him believe he was receiving subliminal messages. We recorded what he wrote and drew in the booth, and everyone else copied it. And then we edited in the clock image after Chris had drawn it. In reality, Chris was under any kind of subliminal influence, but just the belief that he was made him ready to electrocute someone for money.
None of the films that you saw today had anything to do with subliminal messaging. We told you that that film made you selfish and act for your own self-interests, and that you were going to ignore everybody else and think about number one, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay? And we wanted to see how that would affect you.
All right.
And it affected you quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because the moment I told you, hey, listen, if you want to be selfish, it doesn't matter, it's not your fault, you felt quite comfortable.
Yeah, I did it, yeah.
I can also put your mind at ease and let you know that Pete is working with us. And in fact, so was everybody else you saw.
Petey, boy, he's a good actor, isn't he? I actually come in today thinking subliminal messaging does not work, it's not real. And throughout the day, it's gone round full circle. I've gone from a not believer to a believer. Now, obviously, I'm a non-believer again.
By making Chris think he was being controlled by subliminal messages, we took away his sense of personal responsibility.
But there's an overwhelming urge saying, keep the money, keep the money, keep it, keep it, keep it.
Giving him free rein to follow his more selfish instincts.
We would all do exactly the same things that Chris did. It's not a form of subliminal messaging, but it is a form of mind control.
That's it from the mind control freaks. You might feel reassured that the claims for subliminal messaging are somewhat doubtful. Or you might conclude that the devil's greatest trick is convincing the world that he does not exist.